What is going on, guys? Thank you guys so much for joining us here. My name is Abel Hernandez here with Pitbull Audio, and I am sitting next to none other than Paul Reed Smith himself.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for taking the time. I'm super excited to do this interview. How was the drive here?
It was fun. Do you do a lot of radio?
I do not. No radio.
God,
I have a YouTube channel, though, and I had to practice and fail many times in front of a camera before I got it.
Well, you're not failing right now, so thanks for having me on.
No. Thank you for being here. So 2020 coming up, 35th year anniversary for Paul Reed Smith. What can we expect from you guys going into this anniversary year?
You know, it's been a question that I've gotten a lot on this road trip, and mostly our job is to keep doing what we're doing. We've got a pretty sizable back order, and so for your customers, our job is to make sure that when you sell one guitar, there's another one that makes it here to Pitbull. So the biggest thing for us right now is that we're on a roll and we need to keep making the best guitars we can possibly make. And it's not like we have all these new products, although we did release an update to our McCarty line. We've got a bunch of new stuff, but mostly our job right now, what's new for us is that we just have to keep doing it and doing it. It's almost like the song got written and now we're on tour and we're playing it in all the venues, you know. We got to keep touring. Gotcha.
Is there any product you're particularly excited about?
Not one in particular, but I was at the NAMM show, which is our big trade show, and there were a lot of interviews there, and not one time did I pull a guitar off the wall or plug into an amp that I wasn't able to get a recording tone or a live tone. And that pleased me, because my job is to look at it from an umbrella view, the whole thing, right? I mean, I'm deeply involved in private stock, and we've got Paul Miles and Tina Sears here from Private Stock. They've come to this event, and I'm very pleased with that. But it's not just that, it's the whole thing from SEs on. When we do these clinics, people bring guitars to have them signed, you know, and I can't tell you how appreciative people are if they have an SE or they have an S2 or they have a CE or they've got a John Mayer or they've got a Carlos or they've got a Holcomb, which you mentioned earlier.
Big fan.
Or a core guitar or private stock. The whole thing needs to be working together.
Right.
The worst thing in the world is get a product and it just doesn't work right. It's like a toaster that it toasts more on one side than the other, or pops out of the and the toaster doesn't work. You know, it's not okay with me. What's okay with me is I want these things to do their job right out of the box. If a box arrives, you should be able to take it in the car without opening it to the gig, plug it in, and have zero problems, or take it to the recording studio and have zero problems. That's the idea.
Agreed. So talking about John Mayer, talking about Mark Holcomb, you've got obviously biggest artists in the world playing PRS right now. Do you think you've created your best guitars, your best work to date, or do you think you have much left to accomplish in that realm?
I don't know. I do know that John's very pleased with the models that we've made him. I know that Carlos is very pleased. I know that Mark Tremonti's very pleased. I know that Mark is very pleased, Mark Holcomb. It's not all the biggest artists in the world. I mean, it doesn't include Eric Clapton or Jeff Beck or some of the other people. But for me, I don't know. Really good instruments get updated all the time. Like if you had a Stradivari violin, it would be in the shop from time to time, right? And so I want these to be active instruments that people are actively tweaking them and making them better, and to be a real musical instrument that is providing a musician a tool to do its job. One of the things that David Grissom does, which I find very powerful, is that he will not take a Grissom model to a clinic. He demands that it does its job off the wall. And he's willing to risk it, which I really like. And I've seen Carlos do the same thing. I've seen Carlos take a guitar off the line, put it in the back of the limo, it goes out, gets tuned up, and 20,000 people are standing there, you know, with their cell phones out. It used to be lighters in the old days,
lighters,
And he starts playing this guitar that's only been played maybe 6 or 7 minutes in an entire life. It's a little, you know, interesting experience from my side. Because I want to make sure it's doing its job.
I believe Mark does the same thing, right? He'll go into a clinic and just
Mark will do the same thing.
His SE off the wall and play it.
What's wrong with that? That's good.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Very cool.
especially if it works.
Well, that's the idea, right? It's supposed to work. We're not trying to be a Bluetooth company that's selling you Bluetooth devices. We're trying to be instrument makers that are building musical instruments to do their job, and that you don't need a pedal to make it sound better. It sounds beautiful all by itself plugged in.
So talking about that Holcomb SE, obviously a lot of companies are outsourcing outside the US right now. Do you feel any added pressure to compete, to do the same thing with more than just the SE line?
It's hard enough. Look, they're 12 hours difference to 13 hours difference in us.
Yeah.
So my managers are up at 3 a.m. emailing. You know, it's for us, it's not just to order something and get it. We're teaching, trying to make sure that the frets are exactly the way they want, the neck shapes are the way we want, the tuning pegs are the way we want, the nuts are the way we want, the pickups are the way we want, the bridges, the finishes. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
So, no, I just want to make sure that if we're not making it in this country, it has the same thing. You pull it out of the box and it's doing its job.
Right.
We were at a clinic last night and there was another manufacturer and the guitar was so bowed backwards that the strings were laying on the frets. And we repaired this other manufacturer's guitar before the thing, because I didn't think it was acceptable to have a guitar on the wall that didn't play. You know, I don't want that to happen.
Right. Yeah.
Our factory's humidity controlled, and the reason it's humidity controlled is so that if you're in Arizona or you're in Maine, no matter what the temperature, humidity is, the guitar still works.
Right.
So we do it right in the middle, right at 50% relative humidity and right at 72 degrees.
Gotcha.
After we dry the ever-living
dry out of the wood, yeah.
hell out of all the wood.
You guys do that for stability, right?
Oh God, yes. You want all the water out and you want all the resins crystallized. Otherwise, the neck's going to warp over time. You don't want that.
Gotcha. So one of the deeper questions, is there any one product you've ever made that you either slightly regret making or you think you could have improved on?
You're not getting that out of me.
I didn't think I was getting it out of you. That's why I was saving it for towards the end of the question.
No, that's not. No, the interview's just started. You got to be kidding me. Look, my job is to find problems that nobody else has found.
Right.
My job is to try to correct problems. Let's just take Dragon 1s. The very first Dragon we ever did that nobody wanted, they thought it was out of my mind, and now you couldn't get one if you looked to find one. If I had it to do over what I know now about pickups, I probably would have changed the pickups and the bridge a little bit, and maybe a little teeny tweak to the tuning pegs. But that takes all the process of being an instrument maker out of it. You learn, you apply, you learn, you apply.
Right.
And if I had to go back, I would do those things, but that's as if you can move the clock. That's not the way it works. If I was playing a Dragon 1 every day, I would probably put the new parts on it. Now, that would devalue it, except that I did it, so maybe I can get away with it.
Yeah. Assuming they saw you do it, yeah.
Well, okay. Really, they got to document that I did it. That's great.
I think they're going to have to.
Look, it's not
come with a certificate.
me. There's 350 people in the place. We've got these gifted guitar makers. There's hundreds of thousands of days and hours of guitar making that's combined with us. You know? So when you ask me that question, what's the one thing you regret? I mean, can you be specific about one thing you wish we had done better or something like that?
Oh, me personally?
Yeah.
No, not at all. I just wanted to see what you'd say.
Look, our job is to learn, and 6 to 8 months later, it's on all the guitars, which makes my management crew crazy because we had it all locked down and you just unlocked it, right? But it's like Peyton Manning going to the line of scrimmage. If the defense is doing something he don't like, he changes the play, right? So it seems okay to me. I just want to make sure that it's the best we have possibly to offer. Now, there's a few products that we've made I wouldn't touch. There's a few things on this guitar has never changed. How we've calculated where the frets go, the screws that we use, the inherent drying processes. There's so many things we haven't touched since day one.
Right. So overall, where do we see PRS going in the future? Going past 2020?
We have some plans, but if I tell you,
Somebody turn the camera off so
No,
you
you can leave the cameras on. If I tell you, I haven't told my reps in Germany. I haven't told my reps in Italy. I haven't the ones in England.
We're looking at some angry people if you say
Well,
so.
not angry, but you would become, because of the internet,
Right.
you become my marketing department the next second. It's not fair to all the people that I work with.
I'm happy to do it. Let's hear it.
You
Let's
ought
hear
to be
it.
the marketing department. Look, we have plans. It's getting to the point where we have to plan a year and a half in advance, because now if we buy a part from not in this country, we have to not only get it tooled, but it has to be made, and then it's got to get on a ship and come here, and we call it swimming.
Right.
And it takes a long time for this stuff to happen, and it doesn't happen overnight. We have plans, but when I was being very honest when I said our biggest plans right now are to make sure that Pitbull and all the other great dealers that we have are getting the product that they've ordered. Right. I mean, we did about $66 million worth of business this year, and we've got a back order well in excess of 30 million. So I got to make that stuff.
That's incredible.
We've got 350 people, and you can't just go faster. You make mistakes when you go faster. You have to do it very evenly. If you train, it's not so easy. But you keep asking me, what do you see for the future? And I keep saying, make really good guitars and delivering them. It's a stupid answer, but it's so true for us right now. And then the teasing part is, if I tell you, then I have to kill you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That would suck.
So let me ask you this: where do you think the guitar business is going right now? What is the view from this point of view, in a store that's doing so much business, not just here but all across the country?
I mean, from a personal standpoint, given the genre that I like, the kind of music that I play, obviously I'm very into Periphery, Mark Holcomb, that kind of a progressive metal type of a genre. I think it's pretty big right now. I think that there's a lot of more guitars that are being made towards that type of a genre these days, at least a lot more than before.
So
it's being a lot more
seven?
recognized. I don't necessarily, I'm a 6-string player, but I have
You might want to
gone
add a
into
string.
7
You
just
could add a
because,
string,
I'm trying to make the switch, but it's a lot easier said than done. Once you put 7 strings in your hand and you just want to just play, you can't just play it. So
I've seen Mark play this close. It's extraordinary, this kind of technique that they've come up with, right? The story about that band starting this kind of music in a bedroom in Bethesda and making it to the level there, it's extraordinary.
Incredible,
what's going on.
And just the way he plays, I mean, he takes that. I mean, you'll see John Mayer bar with that thumb, like a lot of players in his genre do, and you see Mark doing the same thing on his guitar, but applying that to progressive heavy metal, which is just something you wouldn't really expect to see.
Look, the first time I heard Periphery, I was like, oh my God, somebody knows what they're doing. Because I thought they'd slid all the parts into place because it was all so with the beat.
Yeah.
And I interviewed them, and they hadn't been sliding things. They played it that well.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
I'd agree. They're an incredible band.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah. They're all good people too. Really
I haven't had the privilege of meeting any of them, but
well, maybe we could work that out.
I'd be looking forward to that.
All right.
Well, Paul,
thanks for having me.
No, thank you for being here. I
you.
want to appreciate, I'm sure you're a very busy guy. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you guys so much for watching this. We appreciate it. From everybody here at Pitbull Audio, take care.
Bye.
Bye.